every other country. In fact, that leads into Nepal very well.
You got to stop spinning it the wrong way.
I will
both
spin
of you.
whichever way I want.
Nepal riots.
You guys are both bad at spinning the glove.
I was particularly interested in this because I lived in Nepal for 3 months right after high school.
Oh, hi.
So I have spent a lot of time in Nepal in various parts of it. People who are not aware about Nepal, tiny country in between China and India, is most known for being heavily in the Himalayas. So it is one side of Mount Everest.
They got a fire flag too. It's not a rectangle.
It's not a rectangle.
It's not a rectangle.
It's so beast to have a flag that is triangular.
Oh, yeah. Flag is cool. So this is a country that is nestled in between China and India. And over the last decade or two, it's kind of been an interesting, they're kind of vying for influence. When I was there, it was extraordinarily influenced by India. And in fact, while Nepal is considered, people think of it as this Buddhist sort of haven, and you go there for the Buddhist temples, 90% of people there were practicing Hinduism. So it's very, very influenced by India. When I was there, insanely poor, one of the poorest countries in the world. So it's a small country. They now have 30 million people, and Kathmandu is the capital city. Kathmandu is basically the only city. This is not a giant bustling country. It's a lot of hills and fields that people are spread out in, and then there's one capital city.
Yep.
So this last week on September 8th, people started protesting, particularly led by Gen Z. And the quick summary is people were frustrated with government corruption, with inequality. People were particularly annoyed with government officials, their kids having these lavish TikToks showing off their wealth and whatnot. And so this isn't that dissimilar from a lot of the kind of protesting and whatnot that's going around the world. I think a couple of things that are particularly notable. So on September 8th, tens of thousands of people go into the streets of Kathmandu. They start protesting intensely. They start burning down government buildings. They burn the parliament building. The prime minister and president private addresses get burned down, media buildings and hotels. And they break into the prime minister's office and essentially force him to resign. And so this is all instigated when the Nepalese government was threatening social media companies and saying, you have to register with the government and allow us to have control. Otherwise, you cannot exist in Nepal. So they did this. They tried to enact this law. They were temporarily banned, including Facebook, X, YouTube, Discord. And this was perceived to be by the youth as...
They got LinkedIn, dude. They got LinkedIn.
They get LinkedIn?
They got LinkedIn.
Damn.
They got Reddit.
Yeah. And so...
Imagine rioting because you can't access LinkedIn.
Man, it's just that's where I really hang these days.
Yeah. So that really instigated this feeling of our government has been serving us. There's been corruption. We are struggling as a youth. We have 22% youth unemployment. 20% of the country is still in poverty, which is actually a huge improvement from 15 years ago. And so they're this is crossing the line with the social media ban. This is basically an attempt to enact even more authoritarianism and stop us from being able to do anything.
The timing is so suspect because it's right as these massive online #NepoKid online protests are happening where they're saying all the friends and family of these government officials are living lavish lifestyles. We're living in poverty. It's fucked up.
Yeah.
And that's when they decide we're going to crack down on social media.
Right.
People draw the connection.
So two really notable things from this that I thought was interesting. The first is, Gen Z collectively is really kind of organizing around this. And they do this from a Discord group called Youth Against Corruption, which has 160,000 members. So this starts to be where people who are participating in these protests and really organizing them, it's happening in this Discord channel. So for the first 2 days of the protest, they're going around burning buildings. The military come out. There's 50 people die in the first 2 days. A couple police as well as protesters being shot by police. Eventually, the military comes out and assumes control. And now the protesters are sort of in control of things because of how much influence they have. They've literally burnt down the prime minister's house, and the prime minister has resigned. So
and fled as well, right?
Yeah. So they start debating about who should be the next leader in this Discord group. And so they start having live stream debates. There was a live stream debate with about 16,000 people watching on their own platform, as well as YouTube. They pick sort of front runners, and then they do a vote on Discord where people voted on which person they want to be the next prime minister of Nepal. And former Chief Justice Sushila Karki is chosen. So the first thing, that's crazy. Everybody's just arguing about it on Discord. And that's where there's apparently all these different debates. There's fake news going around. So there's subgroups around, going against the fake news.
I'm in there. I'm in the Discord.
I tried to get in. It's blocked.
They
now.
blocked it now. Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm in there and I was reading stuff and it's so Gen Z. It's crazy. It'll be memes and someone being you guys should elect Joe Biden as president. And then it'll be real serious paragraphs of discussion. And then it'll be memes and it's wild seeing it happen in real time. it's like Lord of the Flies. I mean, it's like
Yeah.
there's real beautiful stuff, but also it's mixed in with so much meme.
Right. And I think that's what's worth
Yeah.
just acknowledging is like, while this sounds cool on paper, it's almost inspiring of like the youth has managed to like overthrow what is perceived to be this, inactive, unresponsive, corrupt government. And at the same time, it's tens of thousands of people in Discord who are anonymous, who might not be Nepalese citizens. The fact that you're in there is a little bit scary.
Oh, yeah.
People are spreading fake news. People are, for example, trying to bring back the monarchy. Like they want the king back, which is, if they vote on that on Discord, I guess that's legit. They use Discord to revote the king in. But it is like...
Okay, I want to counterpoint slightly. Only that I think what's inspiring about it is who they ended up choosing. Because this could have gone...
Yeah.
This is like an incredible choice, all things considered.
Yeah.
She has this history of anti-corruption. She's like pretty well respected and agreed upon from all genders. They picked somebody who's not just from their group.
Yeah.
And it's funny because the second place in the poll, I saw the poll in Discord. Second place for poll is random Nepali, which I thought meant a random person. I looked it up. Random Nepali is a YouTuber who's popular in Nepal, and that was their second choice. So it could have been Gen Z Alexa YouTuber, and it's instead that they overwhelmingly picked like the right, I think seemingly the right person who like took this mantle, didn't understand Discord.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's like that's cool. And,
Yeah. What stood out to me, so she's notable. Again, the youth is frustrated with corruption, the feeling the government isn't serving them, things aren't getting better. And so this woman that they chose to elect as the interim prime minister, she's 73, but she worked on the Supreme Court as a judge in the 2010s. So in 2012, she and another Supreme Court judge were jailed a serving minister for corruption. So she like aggressively pushed on corruption. She became the first chief justice, pushed against corruption even more. And then some lawmakers tried to impeach her in 2017 because they're like, oh, you're biased. And so she's considered a champion against corruption. And to me, felt like Lina Khan, to be honest, like this very like outsiding political figure who comes in and is pushing back against a very established system that eventually, gets removed of power. And so again, if this is like a kind of 2-year after America situation, in 2 years, Lina Khan will be elected president via Discord.
Don't get my hopes up. Don't get me started. Hey, by the way, can we do a slight interruption? No, fine. After this. One more thing after this. Actually, I want to interrupt right now. Guys, we got featured in the New York Times for our Lina Khan interview, and they framed it entirely around your question, Doug. And it pissed me off. They put us in there and they were like, Lemonade Stand collectively pressed Lina Khan hard on her.
Yeah, all three of us agree.
Yeah, I mean, that was very funny. Because it was true. Like, we wanted to ask that question, but the way that it's phrased, like these three gamers all...
Yeah.
I was like, damn. Damn, I got New York Times. Anyway, that was funny. Sorry, small outside.
I mean, to be fair, they represented me very well.
Well, they did. They got you accurately. It should be included, but it was just like...
Yeah, that two of the biggest Lina Khan glazers
in
were
the
told...
world, we're like told that like,
the one sentence is they pushed Lina Khan. That was like, what, 5 minutes
it was like
out
a
of
very small
90
chunk
minutes?
of the...
So Nepal, crazy situation right now. Basically, they have an interim government from this woman who was elected by Discord. To be clear, that's not an official election. So there's a little bit of weirdness around. While everybody's like, yeah, this is cool, there is a sense of like, what's going on? And it is worth reminding people, again, like as cool as this is, if you go around Nepal, the vast majority of people do not have internet. They don't have electricity, right? Like even when I was there, you had internet maybe like an hour a day in the capital, right? The capital is a small percentage of the actual country. So you now have the prime minister of the country chosen via Discord. And so if you're the person in the hills of, 2 hours outside of Kathmandu, that feels a little weird to me. Like the places I went are like, there's no way these people had any part of this process. So it's cool and I think inspiring in a lot of ways. Yeah. And also a little concerning.
What she said when she stepped out, I watched an interview, is like she's going to take this honor from Gen Z and, and then she's going to do it. But it's only for 6 months, 6 to 8 months, to set up real elections, which I think is cool. I mean, I'm more worried that like there's a long history of countries being in interim governments that collapse because there's so much instability. Again, I want to say historically, both India and China have a strong interest, and also the United States, because we just love to meddle, want to meddle in Nepal. They want to have more influence and control over Nepal because it's a buffer state between the two. And so the chances of this going badly are still really high, of course. It's a very uncertain situation. But maybe I'm more hopeful than you on this one, but it's like, this could have gone way worse.
I think this is the best way this could have gone.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like, and and at the same time, I just want to, remind people that 160,000 people in a Discord have voted the interim prime minister of a country,
And one of those guys is patriot.
of 30 million people,
So it's like-
And I'm in there causing chaos.
and
I'm
that's
just dropping
sick
memes.
as hell if you're in there. And that's by definition not the majority of the country. And it's just, I don't think it's the incredible, amazing restoration of democracy that maybe sounds like, even
No,
though it's
yeah,
it's,
I will
it's
say that.
positive.
Atrioc in this Discord, guys. I think Modi is a leading example. Of you're just working on behalf of the Indian
I'm
government.
trying to.
I saw a tweet that was like a week ago. Discord announced that they were going to up the maximum number of people in a Discord server from 2.5 million to 25 million. And people were like, what is the possible? A few days later, Nepal overthrows their government.
I did have this thought with this story is there's an interesting trend of noticing Discord more in high stakes political media or situations like here, or Charlie Kirk Shooter like confessing on Discord or talking on Discord, or I think it was a year or two ago when that kid, he was like 21, he was in the US military, and he just dropped a document.
Like files, right?
He just dropped some files about the Russian-Ukraine war on Discord to like his boys, and then got arrested for it. But this theme of Discord becoming relevant enough to have these sorts of things
Have
take
you
place
seen
on
the
it.
people like getting messages from their parents? Like, I know you're on Discord all the time. Are you in a chat with this guy? They think of Discord as like one thing.
It's one place.
It's like one place where everybody's.
I like the idea of all of these things happening in one server, and it's just like there's one channel where like this vote is happening, but also one channel where it's same server.
He's planning
where the guy is
assassinations,
planning
yeah,
the Charlie Kirk assassination.
Yeah, it's like Valorant scrims.
And then you gotta. And then Valorant Tarek's Pro
the
City
yard
is on the bottom.
feedback. It's all in the one big Discord server. One final thing on this is like, we're not going to go deep on Indonesia as well, but all over Asia, there's an article right here. Gen Z protests are rattling governments all over Asia, from Nepal to Indonesia. This is happening not just in Nepal. And by the way, I'll say outside of Nepal, it's not going as well. It's not going as, and I will say a big part of that, in my understanding of the situation, is like how incredibly handled this was by the Nepal military. Like for me, that was like one of the big stories of this. They did not seize power when they could have. They tried to find a civilian authority to go above them.
Yeah.
They quieted the riots down. They regained order, got peace, but didn't seize power. Like it's like almost unheard of in a lot of countries for that happening. And I looked into it, and the Nepalese military is like so deeply respected by its people, by other countries. There's one quote I just want to say, I've said it in my video, but like they have these elite units called the Gurkhas, and they're like, if anyone tells you they fear death, they're either lying or a Gurkha. That's like badass. So I don't know. I just thought I thought
They don't fear
They
death.
don't.
yeah,
fear
sorry,
death?
sorry, don't fear death.
Yeah.
I've said this
You know
wrong
what's
twice.
crazy? You
Yeah.
said that the
I said
exact
it
same way in your
wrong
YouTube video.
twice,
about
and a
it.
lot of people gave me death
Yeah.
threats. I'm trying to get. They don't fear death. Yeah.
I'll just
Okay.
breathe. I know this is pandering, all right? But Nepal is an absolutely beautiful, incredible country with amazing people, and I would rank them S tier above every other country.
You heard it on the Doug Country rankings.
It is cool to read this and be like, damn, this went so well. Like that's anyway.
This is how some American politicians thought
I
about Israel.
wish them the best.
Tell me what's happening in France.
Okay, very quick on France. Looking,